This is part 2 of the video about sources, dealing with the actions specific to sources. This includes importing, editing, grouping, linking, and interrogating sources. Materials can be imported into the internals and memos area under sources at any time. Right-clicking in an area of the internals folder allows us to see what kind of sources can be imported, and you'll see there are lots. If we go to the memos area and right-click, then we can see that we can also import into memos, but we need to be importing text files into the memos area, not all of the other sorts of files. And you can see down here what the supported options are. We cannot import into the externals or the framework matrices. We can only create sources within those areas, and we do that in the same way by choosing to create a new framework matrix, or indeed by right-clicking and choosing to create a new external. Many types of source can also be edited. All sources that you create inside your NVivo project can certainly be edited, but some files that you import from outside can also be edited. For example, textual transcripts. If I open up an interview file, for example, that contains textual material, then I can choose to edit that source here, and then I can just put my cursor in at any point and type. If I'm working with video or audio data, then I can also choose to edit the transcript. I won't be able to edit the actual video or audio file itself, however. Equally, I cannot edit PDF files as they are display formats. Memos, however, are fully editable, as are externals. Although, of course, the material that the external is linked to is not editable from within NVivo. Sources can also be grouped into folders or sets and search folders. In this project, the sources have been organised into folders. A new folder can be created at any time just by right-clicking on one of the top-level system folders. Here I'm choosing to create a new folder under internals. I could call that focus groups. And then I could import focus groups into there, or indeed, if I wanted to, I could just move a source from another folder and place it into that folder. I can also group sources along with other project items into sets or search folders. Here, for example, we've got a set called Interviews for Coding Comparison, which contains shortcuts to several sources which are going to be used to compare the coding undertaken by several different researchers. Sets and search folders are a separate component in our way of thinking about NVivo, so to find out more about them, watch the separate orientation video about sets and search folders. We can interrogate sources in NVivo in lots of different ways. For now, we're just going to have a quick think about queries. Queries are ways about asking questions of our data and the work that we've done with our data so far. I'm just going to run this word frequency query, which finds all the words in the items that we've searched for and lists them with their frequency count. You can see at the top in the criteria area that we can choose to run a query on all sources, or indeed we can choose to select certain items. If I choose just 2 or 3 sources, for example, and click OK, when I then run the query, the result will be focused around the sources that I asked for. In the video about queries, we will look at ways of interrogating sources and other items in your NVivo project in more detail. There are various other actions that can be taken on sources. One of the ways to become familiar with them is to right-click on a source. So I'm just going to go back and find a source and right-click on it, and you can see all of the different options here showing me the kinds of actions that I can take on sources. Some of these we will discuss when we look at other components in these videos. For now, this video has given you an overview of what sources look like and how they work.